Hello again. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm back again with another video. Guys, thank you for liking, for subscribing on my YouTube channel. I really appreciate that. So when you feel like someone actually can gain something from my content and probably also a huge fan of my content, please don't forget to like, subscribe on my YouTube channel, and if you feel like someone can gain something from my content, please don't forget to share it with whoever that is actually guided to my content, that you feel like my content is something that they actually need. So I'm actually gonna talk about something that is has been something that I went from a lot of emotions because I can relate to it, and it's something that is happening a lot, like every year. Um, it's something that is happening uh, from family, celebrate. It could be anyone, it could be friends or anyone. I don't know why we don't talk about committing suicide. So because it's something that is happening the way it is, I feel like it should be something that is common now. I mean, yes, we don't know when we're gonna die. Is someone actually know when they're gonna die? No. How are you gonna die? Nobody knows that. It's something that is not revealed to us in in order for us to know. It's something that is actually kept a secret to all of us as humans, as to dogs. But yes, there are actually people who can sense that their time is near, that they don't have any business, that that need them in this um realm, in this reality. So yes, you can sense when you, because most of the time they actually have some certain action even though they don't know why they act the way they do. But I'm just gonna talk more about committing suicide. It's something that is happening a lot. I don't know whether should I say fortunately or unfortunately, that none of the member of my family actually died commit through committing suicide, but there were actually a lot of people who wanted to end their life in my family, including me, my two sisters, which is something that is, I feel like, why I don't talk about it, because committing suicide is something that is happening a lot. Because I remember, okay, it's just that I'm a huge fan of K-drama, and I've seen like K-drama, Korean actors, Korean musician, Korean whatever. But most of the time I'm very drawn to Korean culture, Korean art, So uh, committing suicide is very common in Korea. It's something that a lot of celebrates go through. So I remember there's this woman who was, oh gosh, I don't know exactly her name, but her passing shocked me to the point that I felt bad. I felt so sad because, it's someone that it's someone that you see on screen, and the next thing you hear that they ended their life. But I understand she was going through a lot. She just went through a divorce. Her mother passed away, and then probably she felt like she can't keep up, she can't live anymore, so she ended up ending up a life. Let me just remember. Oh, K-drama. Okay, she acted in a lot of K-drama, but I'm just gonna talk about a Reply. If you don't know Reply, I think it's a 2014 or 2015 K-drama whereby they talking about 1988. Now it has gosh, but she was the old version of gosh, why, okay, you know what, I'm just gonna let it go because I don't remember her name. But somehow her passing just hurt me, but I understand she feel like it's something that she doesn't feel like she owned anyone. She doesn't feel the need to leave, and that is okay. So I'm just gonna talk about suicide. Is suicide it's is it a selfish decision? A lot of people will say, "Oh, she killed herself," or "He killed himself," as if it's something that is selfish. They view it as something selfish. No, people who commit suicide, they don't do it because they want attention. They don't do it because they are selfish. They don't do it because they're trying to hurt people around them, especially if their intention has nothing to do with all of that. So when you hear people talking about suicide, there's actually a lot of reason why people end their life. And people ending their life, I feel like it's something that most of them, they thought, they did think about it for a long time, and they've been trying to live, they've been trying to survive, they were surviving. They feel like they can't survive anymore. They feel like a burden. They feel like nobody needed them, though nobody, like, they felt like it's too much. They wanted to end the pain. Because I remember when I was suicide, I was actually very as someone, a very suicidal person. Like, I wanted to end my life. Like, I don't remember, I was a very suicidal kid from early years. I think the first attempt was when I was actually 16. uh Actually, it was triggered by a lot of things, because I felt like I am actually not needed. I felt useless. I felt worthless. I felt like when I'm actually ending my life, it'll be better. I won't feel pain. I won't be bullied, because I've went through a lot of bullying, not just from externally, like not like, not just from friends, not from um okay, at that time I was not dating anyone, and I didn't date anyone when I was actually in, okay, yes, I was actually getting to know someone, but it's more like a crush than dating them. So yes, but it was triggered by a lot of things why I wanted to end my life. But it was through bullying. It was through feeling like I'm actually worthless. There is no need for me to be on this earth. I never felt like I being loved, I'm being needed. Instead, I was constantly going through phases where I'm actually being hated. Not just, I think what was most hurtful is because I even said to myself, if my parents actually hate me, why do I have to expect other people to love me? Why do I feel like other people should love me? Because my parents hated me from at the early ages. Like, they never loved me. I had a lot of uh, negative perspective about everything. Yes, I went through that, but a lot of people just assume people who commit suicide are people who are weak, people who are actually um or not just weak, selfish. They actually have a lot of negative opinion, because trust me, if you are not someone, you never feel like you need to end your life, you will never understand someone who actually want to end their life. Because not being seen and not being understood, not being loved, not being in a place where you feel like you are actually thriving, not being in a place where you feel like you feel like you're suffocating. Because when you're committing suicide, you feel like you're suffocating. You can't take the pain away, you can't do anything. The only thing that is on your mind is ending your life. You feel like there's nothing there that is actually needing you. It was so I would say okay, I tried to commit suicide 3 times. 2 of them didn't happen. Yes, I was using pills instead, so I overdosed pills, but I didn't even go to hospital. That's how much my body was fighting, because at the end of the day nobody even noticed that I actually disappeared. That's how bad it was. The first time nobody knows. I only disappear for 3 days. In that 3 days I can hear people around me, but I was not able to talk. I was not able to bring up, to wake up my body. I wanted to wake up because I was so tired. I felt like I just want to wake up now, you know. You can hear everything around you, but you can't do anything. You can't even lift your own arm. It was just, for me, that was my experience with the first attempt. It was awful. Like, I wanted to end my life, but what happened is I end up hearing people around talking. I was not even in hospital. I was at home, and nobody even went and see that I actually am still alive. That how bad it was. I felt like I'm not being seen. I'm not being loved. I felt like isolated. I felt like they always. I felt isolated. I felt like there was no point, because I had a most meanest parent ever. My siblings were just only care about them. Okay, I feel like they were just another. They're like just like my parent. They were just they're toxic as my parents. So that kind of thing where you just be like, oh wow, nobody even noticed that I'm actually not around. But at that time, I think after that experience, I actually feel like I can keep on going. I can go on. I feel like it was another I would say it was another way of awakening, that I'm actually have something to live for. But I was always dragging myself because I was losing weight. I was going through a lot, because I went through a phase where a friend of mine, okay, as I said, it was triggered by a lot of things, not just being bullied by my parents. It was also a friend of mine who spread gossip about me, that I actually did abortions, not just even one abortion. That it means I did abortions just like that, and it went viral. It went, a lot of people when were looking at me, were like, you know, you can tell that you're talking about you. And then I didn't know anything until one of the girls said, do you know this girl? And we're like, yeah, like, I know her. She's a friend of mine. She was like, she's a friend of mine. She's a friend of yours. And we're like, yeah. She just told me that she's just spreading rumors that you actually ended, you did abortion. And at that time, I was still a virgin. I didn't know anything about dating. So, you know, I was hurting, and it caused me to a point that I was actually having hard time to sleep, having a hard time to, what exactly, um okay, eating. So I end up losing a lot of weight. I was getting more and more ugly. So, and so it triggered by a lot of things. I felt like every people that I care about, the people that I love, they always backstab me. So it was hatefully, because I genuinely care about that girl. Even now I still care, because I wanted to be better. I wanted to do best. But of course, we're not in, after that situation I distanced myself from her, because she kept on denying. But the details and everything, I feel like it was really, because I believe them. Yes, I believe them, because there was a time where I feel like she's kind of self-hating. I mean, hating on me, because she was giving me some weird energy sometimes. So I kept it like, oh, just probably she having a bad day and so over, you know. So yeah, so I feel like committing suicide, it's something that is actually broad. It's not something that is, you can just put in one box and say people commit suicide because they are selfish, people commit suicide because of this and that. No, they don't commit suicide because they're selfish. They committing suicide because they want to end the pain that they're actually experiencing. They feel like the other side is better than this side, because I've been doing some research and understanding why society view committing suicide as one of the most evil thing that someone can do. Because they always like, "You, she's selfish or he's selfish to the family." What about people who are around them? Because just trust me, people who commit suicide, I'm not just gonna say it's people who are finding it hard to live. They are finding it hard to have people who actually see through them. They are just going around. Nobody cares. Nobody. Yes, probably they have that one friend that actually care or whatsoever, but it's something that is, it's another experience. Committing ending your life, it's another experience. But I got no doubt in the past life probably I've done that, because the way I feel like when I hear someone that at first yes, it still hate, because you know sometimes it's someone that just 1 minute ago, 5 minutes, or 2 days ago you were with, and the next thing you had you come ending in their life, and you're feeling bad, you're beating yourself up like, why they didn't tell me, why I didn't see the sign. Because most of the time people who are actually depressed, people who are going through anxiety, you won't even know that they actually have anxiety. Most of the time they're actually the one of the loudest person in the group, probably the one person who's trying to make other people's laugh, probably someone who's trying to um don't want to see other people going through pain, who's always gonna be there for everyone, who's just always trying to make other people laugh, who always, they always have funny side of them. You wouldn't think there's people actually so they actually want to end their life. They always want to have a dark thought when they're alone. They want to end it, you know. So this is something that I actually dealt with, and it's nobody even know even now. It's my first time actually talking about this, making it public. So it's actually a huge thing. It's not something that you can view it in one way, because you feel like they are selfish. I think people who say people who end their life is because they are selfish. No, they're not selfish. They have every right to do whatever that it feels right for them. So when they're ending their life, it's another experience for them. Probably you never know. Maybe the fact that it worked, like their attempt to ending their life, it worked. It means probably they were supposed to die like that, because you never know how you're gonna die, right? So even them, I'm sure when they're growing up, they have a lot of things that they wanted to do. So when they have a lot of things that wanted to do, you wouldn't know, because a lot of people who actually depressed, they won't even tell you. They, as I said, they're actually one of those loudest people around. They're actually those people trying to make other people happy. They're constantly in their pleasing energy. They're constantly pleasing other people, because they hate to see other people suffering. They hate to see other people going through some things, you know. They want to be there for everyone. So people who ending their life is just, it's not just because they're selfish. So stop using that. Stop being a dick, because you are being a dick to assume that people who actually, if you feel like they are ending your life and you didn't see that. Yes, it probably, yeah, I think for me I would actually beat myself up, because that's how I am. I hate not seeing people around me that are actually going through something. They ended up ending their life. I don't like to see people around me suffering. I don't like seeing kids suffering. So it's just something that I don't appreciate. It's something that I know it's necessary for their soul expansion, but it just doesn't make me feel. Now I'm in a place where I'm actually can separate people who actually need help for me, or people that actually let them go through that phase, because sometimes it's in life there's actually law for cause and effect. There's a reason why we go through things that we go through, because some of the time it makes sense as you grow, you know. So yes, I was talking about committing suicide, and then I mentioned that I'm actually the third person who try to end their life, and I still believe my other sisters actually still wanting to end up. It's just that we're not in a communicating anymore. I feel like I'm better without. I feel like I'm actually more better and more healthy, more in my own element when I'm actually not in contact with them, because I feel like, as I said, a lot of depression is caused by the character that we actually had to end. It's a character that we actually had to end. So the fact that they are not ready to end that character within themselves, it's something that you can't help them from. So it's something that is actually, it's them that need to see, you know what, I don't need to be this self-hating person. I don't need to take everything with the bullying, they want to internalize them. So I don't need to view that my partner, the way my partner is treating me, is my actually value, is actually my worth, that I need to stay, you know, because like actually a lot of things that actually make people being so being in a space where they actually want to end their life, because it's just you will never understand when someone commits suicide if you never been in that point when you feel like it's this is it, this is the end. Because as I said, the first attempt was 16, and I never thought like I'll ever being in a place where I feel like this is it, this is being put in a spot, I'm in a corner now, and I don't feel like I can save myself, you know. And the second one is when I was actually 17, and the last attempt I was 20, and it was triggered by a lot of things, and that's when my spiritual awakening happened. Because that one, I didn't want to drink pills, I just want to throw myself in the buildings in order to just end it, because I felt like this is it, this is it, this is what I actually want. And at that time, the someone just called, and I was like, should I pick up or should I? Because I already planned everything. I was just like, you know what? It's already at night. Nobody will know, even if I happen. So to be alive, I'm sure I won't last for 4 hours, because nobody's gonna go around this area. So like it was a planned thing. Like I'm ending it for good this time. So yes, and yes, people who are actually suicidal, as I said, they are the funniest. They're actually comedians, or not even comedy. They have this certain sarcasm. Oh gosh, um, they it's a coping mechanism to be funny. You know what funny? It's the fact that if you know Peter David, blah 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 blah, the one that is actually dating Kim Kardashian now, he's a comedian. I'm like, what? You know, because it's something that they actually do. They copy with making jokes. They copy. Sometimes they make jokes with dead. They make it jokes like, when you think about it, you okay. Initially, you be like, she's funny. Until someone meet you, be like, well, because I remember I even had a prayer that God make me not see another day. I was 20 at that time, and then I happened to have a roommate that can actually see through me. She was like, don't say that. Like she was the first person who actually saw through me, and I was shocked. I was like, you know, I think it was time for me to know that, you know what, you need to work on yourself. You need to do the inner work. You need to see that there's actually a lot of things to be grateful for. So I end up starting living life. I won't say that I'm actually living, but I'm no longer in a surviving mode, because sometimes I find myself want to survive and be like, I push myself like, you know what, I don't need to survive, I need to live, I need to live. I'm learning and learning the way of actually living consciously, not living through trauma. Because a lot of things, I was more of a stuck. Okay, I'm still a stuck up person. Apparently most people, when they define introvert, they define them as some people who actually stuck up. Well, I'm not offended by that, but I'm actually talking about I felt so stuck in that character. So a lot of depression is caused by being stuck in that character. You feel like you can't break through to that character. That character can be not being able to realize that people who are actually bullying you are people who are actually beneath you, are people who actually see through the light in you. It's actually people who actually not happy, not miserable with their life. Instead, you internalize everything that they say. So because you're young, you don't understand why you have to go through bullying in a very young age, why it has to be your parent who actually fully, because my father is an alcoholic. So he, whenever he's done drinking, he just gonna make it possible to make it, you know, he will just make the whole thing like every time we sometimes we have to sleep outside because he's a Godzilla now. He's just angry. He's pulling whatsoever. He's beating my mother up, and you know you can tell like, oh wow, you know it just traumatizes you. You don't know any reality beside this reality that you actually know. So it takes a lot for someone to actually end their life. I'm not promoting people to ending their life. I'm just stating my point of view, my perspective regarding it's my own truth. It's something that I actually went through. It's something that I feel like a lot of people are ending their life, and it's still something that it's just something that we never normalize, because no matter how much we know that we all gonna die, it's still something that it shocked us when the loved one just passed away. Be like, oh my, you know, you, even though you know that they are dying probably from cancer, and they probably in the stage where cancer is can't be cured, and then still it's gonna shock you that it's gonna hurt, you know, even if you know things. Sometimes your soul need some trying, need some you to drive from it, you know. So all of those things are actually happening for whatever reason. I believe we should stop telling people who actually ending their life they're selfish. I think people used to say people actually ending their life they're actually selfish. I think it's come from a place where um probably they feel guilty that I didn't see through them. I didn't put my effort in their life. But I'm not saying they should feel guilty either. But I feel like people who say mean things to others is people who are actually miserable. Whatever that situation may trigger them to be more miserable or what. But we should stop telling people that it's actually selfish. People have their own reason. You don't know why whatsoever. Because recently I read somewhere where a guy he was talking, saw someone commented like talk about the last time they actually interact with their father, and someone said, oh, this morning, and then someone said he even said the date, the time that his father sent him to buy something for him in a nearby, but he didn't understand why his father want him to buy something, because he just went throughout in the same store, but he didn't question because his father's just sending him. So when it done, when he came back, he found his dead father dead, died just like that. He committed suicide. You know, people know that they actually, you know what, they can't keep up, they can't do this anymore. So yes, it can look like, oh, you don't know, that is something that that you should be okay with now. Yes, it's gonna still hate, because no matter what, we don't want to lose people that we care about. So yeah, I'm just gonna talk about that. Thank you guys for liking, for subscribing on my YouTube channel. So if you feel like someone actually can get help through my content, so don't forget to share them with them. Don't forget to like, for subscribing on my YouTube channel. Thank you. Bye.